Yes, so very good morning. My name is Dattajwir Singh from India, and I am presenting on cloud removal for satellite image using the fusion of SketchUp-1 and the Maurice data. The Himalayan cryosphere is a key climate index, and meltwater from Himalayan glacier and snow is natural source for irrigation, hydropower, and domestic water supply. The monitoring of Himalayan cryosphere is important in the view of associated natural hazards such as snow avalanche, flash floods, bursting of glacial lakes, and the landslides. This following figure is actually representing the location of the Himalayan cryosphere in the world map. The remote sensing is a process of detecting and monitoring the physical characteristics of an area by measuring its reflected and emitted radiation at a distance, and it provides a cost-effective solution in the monitoring and the mapping of the Himalayan cryosphere. The remote sensing is can be categorized into the optical remote sensing and the microwave remote sensing. The optical remote sensing deals with those parts of the electromagnetic spectrum that are characterized by the wavelengths from the visible band to the near infrared up to the thermal band, whereas the microwave remote sensing uses the electromagnetic radiations with a wavelength in between the 1 centimeter to the 1 meter. The source of energy in optical remote sensing is the sun, whereas in a microwave remote sensing, the source of energy can be sun or on illumination. And the cloud penetration is not possible in optical remote sensing, but it is possible in a microwave remote sensing. And the atmospheric scattering generally affects the optical image, but less affect the microwave image. And the data collection is possible in daytime in optical remote sensing, whereas in a microwave remote sensing, the data collection can be possible during day and night under all weather conditions. The image fusion is an art of combining two or more images which have been acquired from the different sensor into the single image, which is more informative and hence more useful from an interpretation point of view, such as image sharpening and feature enhancement and the improved classification. The fusion of the optical and the microwave data offers a variety of applications such as cloud-free observation of the Earth surface changes, and the given figure is representing the brief overview of our image fusion, in which multispectral imagery and the panchromatic image is gone through the image visitation and resampling beforehand to the fusion. And once the image has been fused, and it is validated with respect to the reference dataset. Yes, in this paper, we have used two different types of the satellite dataset. The first one is a NASA's MODIS, which is an optical sensor launched in December 1999, and it offers the information in the 36 different spectral bands, having the wavelength from 645 nanometer to the 14 micrometer, with a spatial resolution of 250 meter to the 1 kilometer, and it offers a huge range of the data products. And here we have just mentioned a very small number of the data products, and which are used for the different applications such as land surface reflectance, surface temperature estimation, land use, land cover change, vegetation indexes, leaf area index estimations, albedo, and the vegetation production. Yes, another one is ISRO Scatometer Satellite 1, which is also referred to as a ScatSat 1, and it is a microwave sensor launched in 26 September 2016, and it is working on a Ku band at a 13.5 gigahertz of frequency, and it offers the data products at a least resolution of 2 kilometer, and it provides the data in the form of sigma naught, gamma naught, and the brightness temperature at two different polarization modes: horizontal transmit and horizontal receive, and vertical transmit and vertical receive. And the given figure is representing the various types of the data products offered by the SketchUp-1. That includes the winds, ice cover products, brightness temperature products, upwelling index, and analyzed wind at a very high resolution. Yes, here are various applications of the Scatterometer 1. in a cryospheric area, and the figure is representing the there is a ice cover image which is required from the scattered one, and the figure B and C is representing the south polar and the north polar image, and the D is representing the India image of a L4 product, and the last figure is represented the extracted region from the L4 India product, which is a part of the Western Himalaya. Now the objectives of the studies and divided into the 5 points. The first one is the acquisition and the pre-processing of the MODIS as optical data and the spectrometer one as a microwave data. And the second point is that the fusion of the MODIS and the scattered one dataset using the nearest neighbor based pan sharpening model. Then we have done the classification of the fused image with the artificial neural network, and then we have validated the classified fused data with the help of the reference data. And at last, the results of the fused classified data are compared with the MODIS and scattered one classified data individually. And here you can see that this is a study area which is a part of the Western Himalaya acquired from the scattered one. Here the figure B is representing the data acquired using the scattered one, and the figure C is representing the data acquired using the MODIS sensor on the same day. The next part is a methodology which is divided into the three parts. And the first part is the input dataset that includes the MODIS and the scattered one, which have been resampled at a resolution of the 500 meter. And the second one is a fusion, and which is used to fuse both the images together with the help of the nearest neighbor method. And in a third step, we have classified the fused data with the help of the artificial neural network, and then we have validated with the help of the mode 10 as a reference data set. Yes, here you can see that the visualness of the experimental outcome, and the row one is representing the scattered one data, MODIS data, and the third one is a fused data, which is obtained using the fusion of the scattered one and the MODIS. And the last one is representing the reference data, and which is used for the validation purposes. And in a second row, we have applied the artificial neural network on a classified image and obtained the classified map at a accuracy of the 90.11%. And then we have applied the artificial neural network on the MODIS data and obtained the accuracy of 80.77%. And at last, we have applied the artificial neural network on a fused image and obtained the highest accuracy of the 91.97. Yes, here you can see that the some statistical analysis which represents the number of corrected pixels, kappa coefficient, and the accuracy. The first figure shown that the maximum number of corrected pixels have been obtained using the fused image, and then in a scattered one image, and the least number of corrected pixels obtained using the MODIS dataset. And in a similar way, the maximum kappa coefficient have been obtained in a fused image, and the least kappa coefficient has been obtained in a MODIS classified image. And the accuracy is representing in a figure C, and in which the maximum accuracy obtained using the fused data and the minimum accuracy has been obtained using the MODIS data. Yes, at last, the aim of the research paper is to design a methodology to remove the clouds from the MODIS data using the SCATSAT 1 with the help of the nearest neighbor-based diffusion method. And in the accuracy assessment, we have considered all the pixels which is existing within an image and obtained the maximum accuracy of 91.97 in a fused image. And we can conclude that the fusion of the scattered one and the MODIS is a better option to extract the information on a daily basis. And the most important point in the MODIS and the scattered one dataset is that the both datasets are freely available from the NASA and the ISRO website, and they are useful to enhance the application range of the remote sensing. And at last, we are thankful to the Science and Engineering Research Board for financially supporting this research work and all the participants. Thank you.